Welcome to our clear step-by-step AGIS-approved guide for securing your certificate of occupancy in the Federal Capital Territory. As Abuja's population surpassed 4 million in 2025, driving intense demand for secure land titles, AGIS has processed over 100,000 applications and issued more than 20,000 C of Os since 2023, thanks to its computerized land registry platform. Today, you will learn every required document, fee schedule, and Remita payment step so you can navigate the process confidently, avoid delays, and lock in your legal land rights under the Land Use Act. Let's now move over to the slides for more interactive session. Okay, we will now start the slides by addressing this very important question: why a certificate of occupancy matters. A certificate of occupancy matters based on the fact that it's a prima facie evidence of your legal rights to land under the Land Use Act. Without it, your property remains vulnerable to revocation or demolition. Moreover, banks and investors require a valid C of O before granting mortgages, financing, or development approvals. Okay, let's now take a look at the legal and institutional framework that guides the operation of the Land Use Act. Under the Land Use Act of 1978, all land in the FCT vests in the federal government, which exercises control through AGIS. Since 2003, AGIS has maintained a computerized cadastral database to ensure transparent, efficient land administration. Its mandates include land registry services, mapping, title registration, and customer care for residents and developers. Okay, let's now take a look at AGIS service flow, the process with which you have to pass through in order for you to succeed in obtaining a certificate of occupancy in the FCT. The first is a new application. You have to open your file and make sure you pay the fresh application fee. But before that, you have to confirm your plot status with a land search report. And thereafter, you have to submit an authenticated georeferenced plan. Then, the application submission itself, you lodge all documents at the AGIS front desk. Then the next step will be payment of bills. You have to settle your C of O, ground rents, and any regularization fees via Remita. Once you have concluded all these, then it will now be collection of your certificate of occupancy. You have to, return with your receipt so that you ensure that you're able to collect your certificate of occupancy. Let's now look in details the steps. The first is the new application. To begin, you have to download and complete the fresh application land application form, either as an individual or an organization, from the AGIS portal and bring it to the AGIS new application desk after payment. And the required document that has to accompany the fresh application form includes a formal application letter to the Director of Land Administration, tax clearance certificate, CAC form CO7, that's for companies, 2 passport photographs, a valid ID card, which may be an international passport, national ID, driver's license, or your PVC. And thereafter, you now pay the prescribed fee at the AGIS listed bank, and then you have to keep your teller as proof of opening the file. Let's now move to the next stage, this step, which is a title search. You will have to secure a title search report by paying the sum of 10,000 naira, that's for an individual, and 20,000 naira for corporate organization to the AGIS Finance, and submitting your receipt with a search application letter. And you must present the original of your rights of occupancy or allocation letter and a valid ID for citing before the search will be conducted by AGIS on your behalf. And the result typically is ready within 24 hours to 3 days. If there is the delay in the process after the 3rd day, you can contact the number on the screen, or you visit agis.fcta.gov.ng so that they can be able to assist you in sorting out such issue. Then the 3rd step in the process of you obtaining your certificate of occupancy from AGIS is the survey plan and documentation. You must provide an OSGF authenticated survey plan prepared by a licensed surveyor, showing your reference coordinates and boundaries. Very important. You should also, regards to the documentation, you should also include your deed of assignment and or allocation letter and evidence of any ground rent you have paid so far. If you are seeking a development control clearance, it's expected that you attach your architectural drawings. Then the 4th step is the application submission itself. At the AGIS new application desk, you have to submit these following documents in bundle. That's the application form and letter, and then you will now attach the title search report that you have gotten from AGIS earlier. And then the certified survey plan by a licensed surveyor must also be attached. Then the deed of assignment or allocation letter showing that you are the bona fide owner of such property must also be attached. Then your passport photos, the valid ID, tax clearance certificate, and if it's a company, then the CAC document must all be put in one bundle and then submitted to AGIS. AGIS will issue a stamped acknowledgement letter, and this serves as the one of your processing. Then thereafter, it will now be payment of bills. After document verification, AGIS will generate 3 electronic bills, and they are fresh C of O issuance bill, which is based on the plot. Then the annual ground rent bill, and these are also based on the plot size and the location of the property. Then the 3rd is the title regularization bill. That's if your title requires some correction, and you must pay all bill via Remita. And how you can be able to do that is to go to remita.net, and then you navigate to pay TSA and states. In this instance is the Federal Capital Territory admin. Then you move to Abuja Geographic Information Systems. Then you select bill, and very importantly, you print your receipt, because that's the evidence to show that you've actually made the payment. Then once fees are paid, you have to return That's for collection of the C of O. You have to return with the originals of the R of O, and all 3 Remita receipts to the AGIS title collection. If you send a proxy, you are not going to AGIS by yourself, you have to include a dated letter of authority and then their valid ID and a power of attorney, mandating them to act on your behalf. For companies, you must also present the CAC Form 7 and the Certificate of Incorporation to establish the legal status of such company. AGIS will cite the originals, and once they are satisfied with all the documentations that you have brought for the collection purpose, you will be handed over the Certificate of Occupancy. Okay, let's now look at the cost component once more. Your minimum out-of-pocket begins with the sum of 110,000 naira, and it covers the fresh application fee and also the title search, and also you have to factor in all the Remita charges that comes with it. The fresh application for upload is 100,000 naira, and then for individual search fee is 10,000. If it's a corporate entity, a company, then the sum of 20,000 naira has to be paid. Then with regards to the C of O issuance bill, it's based on the plot size and location. The same is applicable to the annual ground rent and also the title regularization. In this case, the system has already been programmed. Once they key in your title number and your everything with regards to your R of O into their system, it will bring out the bill that you are expected to pay based on the size of your property and the location. So once that is sorted out, you go to the bank and make payment. Okay, let's now look at some common pitfalls and tips. The first is submitting incomplete forms. It's very important. You have to make sure that you cross-check, double-check all that you are submitting, so that you will know that you are not missing anything, especially the plot numbering, the signatures. You have to make sure that everything is in place. Then another thing is arriving late to AGIS office. So many other persons have similar business in AGIS office. It's very important that you are there before 9 a.m. so that you can be able to start whatever business you are going to do on time, because if you go late, you take so much time in order to complete a very simple task that would have been completed if you had been there earlier. Okay, let's now take a look at, I've mentioned it earlier, but we still have to talk about it again. AGIS payment procedure, the procedure you have to follow in order to complete your payment. You have to obtain your electronic bills from the AGIS Finance or customer care. And once you have obtained your bill, they've printed your bill from their system, then you go to remita.net, you click pay TSA or state, then you select the Federal Capital Territory admin, then you navigate to Abuja Geographic Information System. Once you are there, the next thing you have to do is to choose the fresh application or the C of O bill or ground rent, whichever that is applicable. Then you make your payment. On the other hand, you have to ensure that you print your receipt. You can go to the bank if you cannot be able to do it yourself, so that they can be able to help you make the payment through Remita and issue you your receipt. Okay, let's now take a look at some frequently asked questions. The first is, how long does the processing take? The processing begins with your submission, and since it requires the minister's approval, you have to make sure that whatever that it takes in order to facilitate the process, because you only get your approval once the minister gives same. Then the next question is, can I prepay multiple years of ground rent? The answer is yes. Remita allows multiple years selection when you generate your bill. If you have been owing for, let's say, 10 years, you can be able to pay all of them at once, so that you can now know that you have done everything that you have to do with regards to payment of your ground rent, which is a very, very important payment in the process of obtaining your certificate of occupancy of O. Then the next question is, what about late recertification? The the fee is 150,000 naira, which is a flat rate penalty that applies to all outstanding bills. Okay, in conclusion, to secure your C of O smoothly, you have to start early. Very important. You follow AGIS checklist exactly, and budget at least the sum of 110,000 naira, which is basically to start the process, because you still have to pay for your C of O and ground rent. But this is basically in order to make your fresh application and then pay for your search. And for complex matters, you have to engage a licensed surveyor or a legal counsel in order to guide you through. Okay, for further resources and contact, that's you have to visit the AGIS website, which is agis.fcta.gov.ng for inquiries. And also there is a number and email on the screen in which you can get across to AGIS in order for them to help sort out any issue or problem that you have along the way. Okay, for personalized consultation, further guidance, additional resource on how to obtain a certificate of occupancy in Abuja, you can visit our website to access detailed guides, case studies, and expert insights designed to keep you informed of the latest regulatory updates and best practices. You can as well partner with us to leverage our deep industry knowledge and take the next step towards obtaining your certificate of occupancy in Abuja with ease. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to download this presentation for your future reference. And also you can subscribe to our YouTube channel for more valuable content such as this one. Thank you.